Hi everyone, my name is Seren and I'm the president of the DDC this term. I'd like to introduce you to Miss Uliana Zadarko. Thanks for having us on the show. This is me offering you a handshake. Really glad that you could be with us today, and we're here today to get some expertise and some advice from Uliana on marketing positions. Uliana Zadarko is a second-year double degree student. She worked at Mars this past co-op term and she was a brand leader. So we have a bunch of questions for her, trying to get a bit of information about what it is like to work in marketing, and so I'm going to ask you a few questions and the floor will all be yours. So can you just tell us a bit about your role at Mars, what it was like working there and what you were doing?
Sure. So as you said, I was a brand leader at Mars. So what that essentially is, it's a support role for one of the directors of marketing. So what a lot of my job consisted of was statistical analysis. So we received scanned data from our customers such as Loblaws and Zehrs, and it would be my job to get the data every month, look at it, look at our trends, where we were having pitfalls, which specific flavors or SKUs that we weren't selling well, kind of trying to dig into the root cause by looking into historical data. So there was an element, definitely, of statistical analysis, which many people overlook when they're thinking of what a typical marketing job might be. What it also consisted of, we also received competitors' data, so that added another element, another kind of dimension to the analysis, because you had to consider where were we in terms of our competition, were we doing better or worse, in which areas are they encroaching in our, kind of our territory, and which areas we can just kind of defend.
So not your typical like advertising position, you were doing a lot more even behind the scenes work too.
Yeah, it's definitely that, because the statistical analysis that I did definitely drove some of the decisions that were being made in terms of what media did we buy. Was it more effective to have advertising in TV or actually in the store? That's definitely really important, because that's one of the things that many people, they think wrongly about marketing. They think that, you only come up with a creative idea. But so much more of it is actually understanding how effective your creative is and the means that you choose to kind of display it, and is that idea actually conveying the main message that you want.
So I guess you bridged us into the next question was, there's so many stereotypes with every position. People have stereotypes about finance, stereotypes about various companies, and I guess everyone has their set of stereotypes about marketing companies as well. Yeah. So what are those stereotypes associated with marketing first, and can you tell us whether they're true or not?
Yeah, I think that definitely one of the stereotypes of marketing would be that, you come up with this great creative idea, and then from there you make the commercial, and you have the complete set of reins in everything that you do. And that's completely untrue. In a marketing position specifically, what I saw would be that we would write a brief to our creative agency. So we would say that we want to convey these 3 messages. We would say we want to have this pack shot in it, and then from there that creative marketing agency, advertising agency, would actually come up with the idea and would come back to us with, this is kind of how we want to, this is kind of the picture that we want to create and the story that we want to show. So that's definitely a stereotype that people have, that solely, like creative people that are kind of off whack will do well in marketing jobs. But that's definitely not true. I think that another aspect of a stereotype that a lot of other people have would be that it's that that you can just come up with anything that you want, but that's not true, because definitely there is a global aspect. Specifically with Mars being a global company, you had input from every different area of the world, and everyone just kind of tweaked the creative to be able to kind of show it best to their audience.
So you kind of need like a sense of global business, knowledge of all areas of business, not just the creative aspect, which is, I think,
you do, and it comes into play definitely when certain markets have a bit more of a leniency in terms of they have more capital at that point in time, so they definitely have more say in the direction of the creative. So it's helpful in that sense, but you need to also understand that when you come up with an idea, you need to sell it to the world. It's not just to your little area, and that's what they sometimes think it's kind of closed in the walls of Canada. But definitely, if I were to say to someone that was going into marketing thinking that they had these stereotypes, I would say, be prepared for a dynamic environment, because when you work within marketing, you have the ability to speak with finance, because they delegate how much of the budget that you get. You definitely have to do with sales, who sell the product to your customers, and you have to do with human resources and all of the other aspects of the business. So it's definitely more collaborative.
You've got to be good at everything.
You do have to be good at everything, and you do get exposure to everything. I find that in the other disciplines, specifically from the other jobs that I've heard from other double degrees, you're just kind of, your thing. You go in there and you know exactly what you're going to do, you know what your expectations are, and then when I find that when you go into a marketing job, because it's changing so much, you can't dictate anything. you just have to kind of go with the flow. And if you're someone who is averse to change, I wouldn't really recommend a marketing position.
So based on what a lot of Liana just said, I think you need to be multi-dimensional, and I think double degrees are generally very multi-dimensional. So then my next question to you is, if you're a double degree, why would you go into a marketing position? And once you tell me that, can you give me some advice? If I wanted to get a marketing position, how should I do it?
Sure. So I think that being a double degree, you definitely have an advantage over everyone else who applies for marketing positions because you can advertise the fact that you do have a strong background in math, which will definitely help with the statistical analysis, which you will without a doubt have to do in your job. So you can definitely advertise that. In first year, we didn't take a lot of marketing courses. I think we just had one bit of BU 121 or 111, that was marketing. But in marketing, truly, you don't go in there and say, I'm going to apply this law or anything. It's like I said, it's very dynamic. So in terms of actually having a leg up in marketing, you have to be able to have that strong statistical background, which you will have. Otherwise, you might want to make sure that in an interview, when you are applying for a marketing position, you definitely want to show that your resume is varied. Like it has a good balance. You want to show that you had experiences leading people. You want to show that you've had experiences running events. And you want to show that you have volunteer experience. Those are definitely 3 factors that I think that if you're looking to get a marketing position, you need to be able to show that coupled with your strong academic background, you have the leadership capabilities and the personality to be able to meet with a lot of people and just work well with them.
This has been great because as the first segment of Voices of DD, we're going to have a ton of more segments coming up, and it's great to see that we have so many different people in double degree working in a variety of industries. So thanks, Liana, for showing up.
No
and
problem.
If you guys have any questions about marketing positions, this is the one to get in contact with. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.